Hi guys, today we're going to be talking about strategy. So we're going to be thinking about heading towards getting your quota bag, but doing it in a very calculating and strategical way by thinking about when you're going to be spending your money in order to really stand out so that your SA notices you a little bit more and is more likely to advocate for you for a quota bag when they're looking at the huge amount of customers that they have. So I guess the issue is that your SA is looking after many customers. What the number is of exact customers that they're looking after is hard to say. Obviously, if your SA is fairly new to the store, they're more likely to be starting out and just creating a new list of clientele. So you may be able to get a bit more of their attention. If they've been there for a very long time and they're quite senior in their position, they may have some very wealthy clients, and it can be really hard to be noticed when your SA does have a very long list of very well established clients. This is some of the ways that you can stand out a little bit more. For example, timing your spend towards the end of the quarter. So if we break the year up into quarters, you'd be looking at around March, June, and September. Your store manager is looking at two main figures. They're looking at the quarterly store sales as well as the individual sales of each SA. So by spending towards the end of your SA's quarter, they will get a little bit of a boost and they are more likely to notice your spending amongst other people's spending during that quarter. The main exception to shopping at the end of the quarter is December. Obviously, with December being close to Christmas and the new year, there is a huge boost in sales. This is when they are making the most amount of their sales. It's very hard to be seen amongst the big sea of shoppers that come in from a spending perspective. So if you were going to avoid any time of year to spend, you would be trying to avoid the December period. You would most likely wait until January when things quieten down, because from about November to December, so November being the Black Friday sales, heading into December, there's a lot of foot traffic. There are people just dropping into Hermes just because they're around the area, because they've got shopping on their mind, because they're having to get their Christmas list done. If you are not going to shop during this period, then hold off your big sales until January and you will be noticed a lot more during this time. The store does get a lot quieter. People have maxed out their credit cards. They are thinking about relaxing and spending more time with their families and slowing down on their spending after making huge spends in December. So this is the best time to actually go into the store. Also to get a lot better service out of your SA because they'll have more time to spend with you. They'll be able to answer your messages. They'll be able to spend a bit more time getting to know you and being able to explain products to you because the store will be quieter. If you are to send a message to make appointments with your SA, it's much easier to get an appointment, but also to get a reply from your SA during this January period too. If you are concerned about lack of stock though, the time to avoid is in August. So in August, a lot of French workers take time off for their summer holidays. It is a much quieter time and it is harder to get stock at this time. However, if you're not too worried about stock and you are just wanting to spend to be noticed, it is around still that fairly good time to go in and do some shopping at that time. It is possibly harder to get a quota bag during this time too, with less workers and artisans making these bags. They are probably shipping out a little bit slower to stores too. So if you're looking for a quota bag or you're trying to amp up your spending, then I would try and keep it away from this period of time if you want something fairly quickly. Now, quota bags do tend to be shipped towards the start of the month. So if you are going to time bigger spends, you would want to time them towards the end of the previous month. That way you'll be first in the mind of your SA when they see your big spend, and they're more likely to think of you when that quota bag does come in at the start of the following month. It is unfortunate, but your SA is looking after a lot of people. They do have a lot of people's wish list, not just for bags, but also other items coming in. So it really does come down to their memory sometimes. So if you've been in recently and you've made a very big spend, especially in a department that is harder for them to get purchases in, such as homewares or fine jewelry or ready to wear, you will be foremost in their mind and they will be able to consider you more likely when the shipment does come through at the start of the month. A few other times to avoid major purchases or asking for a quota bag may be around Valentine's Day and Father's Day, and particularly Mother's Day. I've seen quite a few videos about other people requesting bags to try and get them in for Mother's Day. So if you are trying for a quota bag around Mother's Day, you might find that you are up against a lot of competition then. So if you can avoid that time, maybe go for a few weeks afterwards or well before then that should make your timing a little bit better. At the end of the day, this is all speculation, of course, but I think that it doesn't hurt to try and use some of these points to try and improve your chance of getting a bag if that's what you're really after. Of course, it's really important to buy things that you love. So you may find that at the end of these quarters, there is less stock and that there isn't something that you really like. So you do have to balance that up against, do I like what is available versus is my purchase going to really stand out towards my SA? And you may find that it just doesn't work out that way, because often with being hard to get stock, you may find that your SA will have to order things in, and when you do finally make the purchase, it may not end up in the exact time period that you want it to be. So you really can't nitpick at this too hard. At the end of the day, you can try and strategically buy as much as you can, but if things don't turn out, of course, we do just have to accept that this is the way it is. I think the most important thing above all is your SA will be able to see if you have a true, genuine love of the brand. So regardless of whether you're playing this as a maths game or not, it is really important just to make sure that you are genuine and that you do show that you do appreciate the brand with your SA, and they will notice that and they'll bring that forwards to the store manager when it does come to the time to advocate for a bag for you. When we are talking about these sorts of tactics, obviously these apply for people that are trying to go that extra mile. You may not even care about some of these points. These might not even fit to when exactly you want to make purchases. But obviously, this is luxury shopping. You do want to enjoy it as much as you can. You do want this to bring a smile to your face. You don't want to be crunching numbers and calculating everything to the very most minute detail. You don't want to be pulling out your calendar and trying to work out exactly when you're going to make a purchase. So the most important thing is making sure that you pick items that you love, that you really, really enjoy, that you have a great relationship with your SA. I perhaps have been nitpicking a little bit and thinking about this a little bit too much. I just thought I'd share some of these thoughts with you. Let me know what you think, and if you have any other tips to share with us, please comment down below. Last thing is I do have an unboxing here. It has been opened already. This is for my other half. It is fantastic if you can get your other half on board with enjoying Hermes products too. So what I've bought for him is the Destin Loafer, which he has worn to a special event already. So this does have the classic Kelly buckle on it here in the palladium hardware. You can see it's got the Hermes Paris engraving at the bottom here. It is a very, very lovely detail. As this is a men's shoe, I was initially a bit concerned whether this would be a bit of a feminine feature, but when my husband tried it on, it certainly does look very, very classic. It does not make it look less masculine, and it is just a gorgeous shoe. You can see this lovely stitching here. This lovely detail on the back here. This is in the Epsom leather, so you can see compared to the Giovanni loafer that I bought in the other video of mine that was quite soft on the back and didn't have enough grip. This has a nice sturdy back. It is slightly uncomfortable. He has worn them once and he does say that there probably does need to be a little bit more wear. This is really, really firm along the back here, but I think with a little bit of wear that should improve. And you can see that he's worn that once there already. So These are a great dress shoe, and he's worn them out to a function that we had. They are made in Italy. These weren't too hard to come by. They did have the correct size in store on the day. They can be worn with or without socks. I think to begin with, because the back of them is a little bit firm, you may find that the man in your life has to wear some socks just to break these in to begin with, just so they don't rub on the back of the heel too much. And I think after a few wears, they should be okay without socks. It's been so nice having you join me today. Please hit the subscribe button. I really appreciate all the support that you guys have given me. Look forward to catching up with you really soon. Bye.